Give me a break.
Oh dear.
What?
And yeah. Welcome to the Cloister of Trials. I mean, when's the better time to do it? When we're trying to rush to save Una in some way at the start? Or after we just killed a maester and got caught doing it? I don't know. This to me though, this stands out in my memory like mad, this Cloister of Trials. Because it takes a long time to do if you don't know what's up. I actually think it's the best one. This is like the most puzzly Cloister of Trials in the entire game. And it's, you know, it's very interesting actually. But it requires you to repeat a lot of the stuff quite frequently. And for that I remember much of it. Right, so we've got a glyph sphere in this pillar here. Looks kind of interesting. We've got a sphere over here that's powering what looks like, I don't know, something in this area. A sphere over here too. Well, what happens if we take this sphere out of the wall? Well, we can't. But there's also a pedestal, and we're on what seems to be icy floor. There's also this thing here, which resets the pedestal to there, which is its default location. So let's push it, and it slides away from us. And it is stopped by that icicle. So now if we reset it, what happens when we push the pedestal along? Oh, that reset the icicle as well. That's crazy. Okay, sure. Alright, well, what happens if we take this out then? This Macalania sphere. Let's take it out. Well, that's just powered down this area somehow. Now let's reset it. And push the pedestal. Ah, well, nothing blocks it. So it goes all the way along, and it falls off. And that's not beneficial in any way. That's bad. We don't want that. So there you go. That's what this sphere is doing. It's powering this area and bringing that icicle back. Because if we replace it now, this comes back. So by the end of the puzzle, we don't want that sphere there, but we need it there at least for now so that we can block this pedestal. So let's do it again. Now what happens with it being blocked instead of going off the edge? Well, we can push it all the way up there, right? And it just broke an icicle that looked like that. So let's see what happens. Ah, it flows down. And there's a second level to the puzzle. So that's nice. Let's head over here. Well, what happens if we take this one out? Oh, well, that destroys the floor. That's not very good. But again, this sphere we eventually need somewhere else. So we're kind of screwed right now, yeah? We need that sphere to be out of where it is, but we need this ramp to even go down to the bottom. Well, this one at least we can take out. This one at least, because, hey, well, I mean, what are we going to use this for? The pedestal's already down below, correct? So let's move it down. I am winging this ever so slightly, by the way. A lot of what I'm saying isn't just for your benefit to understand the puzzle, it's for mine. So here is a big pillar in the center. You'll notice there was a glyph sphere of one. Well, by placing a Macalania sphere in here, you see we rebuild a portion of the bridge. That is the ultimate goal of this Cloister of Trials. And so if we take this one as well... that's not going to work, is it? Because there's already glyphs there. So, here we go. This is going to take a little bit of jury rigging. But if we put this Macalania sphere here, that's fine. We don't really care about that. And then we get rid of this glyph sphere here, which is using up this slot and not doing anything. And then we put the glyph sphere over here, which isn't going to do anything anyway. And now we take this back off and power that down, which destroys the spike as well, so there's no trickery there. And then put a Macalania sphere in here. We actually now have 2 of the 3 pillars filled, and a lot of the bridge is built. An awful lot of the bridge. So if we come up here, you'll notice... Look, we can travel nearly the whole way. Look at how close. So close yet so far. That also has nothing to do with the destruction sphere either, which of course we absolutely want to get to. So, I'm going to reset this so that we can go back downstairs. I'm going to take this glyph sphere out and bring that one from the middle. So there you go. With this ramp rebuilt, the question does now arise, well, what can we do with this glyph sphere? It doesn't work in either of the slots up here or the original slot it was in. What does it do? Well, we can try and place it in this recess. Doesn't do anything. That, for the record, is where you put the destruction sphere. What about this recess? Ah, well, look. That has just shifted another Macalania sphere up above us. So we're now done with the glyph sphere. This one we want to leave in because that's powering a bit of the bridge. And we still got the pedestal. There's also the last pillar is here. So how do we deal with this? Well, what we're going to want to do is come upstairs and grab that new Macalania sphere we just freed up. And again, wasn't doing anything in its default position. We're going to come down, put the Macalania sphere into the pedestal, like so. And then shove it right along here, connecting that part of the bridge. So that's awesome. That's 2 of the pillars done. And should we go back upstairs, we can take this out because we don't need to go downstairs anymore. I love the idea of trying to bug Titus so that you would fall down there. I also love to just think of what the dimensions of this room are. Why is it like a bottomless pit? And then we put this one finally here. And rather painlessly, we just rebuilt the bridge. Oh, but what happened there? So, on your way upstairs, you have to be very careful. Well, first of all, there's a weird thing here. What's that glyph with an arrow pointing across? That's weird. Who knows? If we come along here, when you get in this corridor, that glyph on the right, if you accidentally step on that, it resets the entire thing. Entire thing just goes back to the way it originally was. You don't want that to happen. Basically, well, maybe it doesn't reset the entire thing, but it moves the pedestal. You know how this one down here moved the pedestal back to its default position? Well, this one's going to do the same, except it's going to move the pedestal upstairs. But by moving the pedestal, we're going to break the bridge. So if you just want to do this, you don't care about the destruction sphere, just leave. If you break it now, you've basically got to do it all again. I remember on my test playthrough, on my very first playthrough, sorry, I completed it after an arduous amount of time, accidentally stood on this, recompleted it, went to the end, realized I didn't have the destruction sphere, then had to do it all again. Like, I repeated the damn thing like 3, maybe even 4 times. We're going to deliberately step on this because we want the destruction sphere. Now, that's broken that last bit, as you'd expect, but here you can see we now have this thing down. Now, my recommendation here is to take this sphere out. You want the pedestal to be empty for what you're about to do, because this got me really stuck on my very first playthrough. You slide it down, because of that glyph on the floor, it shoots into there. And what do you know? It's broken an ice spike, and it also seems to have collected a sphere while it was at it. The sphere it collected, so now if we reset it to its default position, was the destruction sphere. Now here's the trick. You know, I told you guys just to take that Macalania sphere out of the pedestal. If you don't do that, this Macalania sphere in my hand will be sat in this block of ice I'm currently stood next to, like just floating there in the sky. And you'll forget that it's there, and it's so subtle that it swaps positions with the destruction sphere, because the pedestal can't have 2 in it at once. And so because of this, you can then get really stuck on the puzzle because you're 1 sphere short. And it's not easy to detect that you're 1 sphere short, because in theory there are 3 anyway. So yeah, it makes the puzzle impossible until you realize what's happened and you go and you reset everything and you do it again. So that's vitally important. Be very cautious of that. So what do we do now? Well, now we've got destruction sphere. We want to go downstairs again. But how do we go downstairs? Well, we need to refill these original things and basically put the puzzle to almost like it was when we started. So we're going to drop that thing there, which allows us to slide this along. And it will stop. And now because it's already stopped, we're okay taking this thing back out. As you can see there. We can put that back in the wall to rebuild the ramp. We can take out the destruction sphere now that our hand's empty. We can push this up. Be careful not to push it in the wrong way, obviously. That would be disastrous. Now we've got the pedestal back downstairs. And a destruction sphere while we're downstairs. So let's head on down and see what we got. Well, this is the only slot we haven't used so far. Let's put the destruction sphere in. And as always, a destruction sphere destroys things. A chest appears for us. We'll nab that bad boy. Like so. To grab a luck sphere. Terrible reward. Really terrible reward. But you notice whenever you open these chests, a weird glyph appears. So that's an awful reward. We really don't care about that. But now we need a Macalania sphere. So once again, we're going to go upstairs. We're going to take this out of this part of the bridge. Collapsing the entire thing. Oh, except... yeah, no, the entire thing is now broken. And in just a couple of very subtle moves. Oh, no, one part is still there, right? Now we're going to place this in here. Push the pedestal to the right, rebuilding the far side of the bridge. The first part of the bridge is already built because of when we put that glyph there and that sphere there, and it doesn't matter at all. So that's that. Now we can come upstairs, take this out one final time, and then put it in the middle. And that's basically this Cloister of Trials complete. I think it is my favourite. It comes at a really weird part of the story. And because you're so pumped about the story as well, it's like, wow, what is this delay? And it was the longest one I ever spent the time on, but it was the kind of thing you could work through logically instead of just being like, oh, I want to put spheres everywhere. You know. So there you go. That's the full bridge rebuilt. I thought we should have got a ding noise, but maybe it only happens the first time. Again, don't stand on that pad, because if you stand on it, it's going to break things. That's it done, and that's with us with the destruction sphere. Let's move on up. Oh my god, okay. Guys, is it all cool?
Please.
Give us a chance to explain.
No need. I already know what I'll tell the other maesters.
Meaning?
Lord Seymour was the leader of the Guado before becoming a maester.
You're not letting us go.
Let you go? Lord Seymour would never forgive us if we did.
Wait! Wait! Driscoll's sphere! We can show it to them!
Yeah, that woman had it!
You mean this?
Hey!
Ah!
The Guado take care of Guado affairs.
Away! Run!
Oh, snap! We just knock him to the side. The music here is amazing, by the way. We are on the run, my friends. Let's get going. You'll notice a walker here.
You've really done it now. Want to buy something just in case?
I mean, what is this? Is he just a great merchant or a friend of ours? Again, he's no longer selling weapons, just items. One thing I would really recommend, honestly, I regretted this on my test file, pick up some potions. I'll make it very clear why you're doing this, but grab, 20 or so high potions, whatever. Just get them now while you can. Maybe stock up on some Phoenix Downs. You don't want to be caught without potions in this next area, depending on how you dealt with the sphere grid. So we're done with that. All right, let's go, go, go. You could save there, obviously. Watch a walker in the background. You'll see he teleports away. What the hell is that? Well, if you think about it, every time you go to use Blitzball, you're sort of teleporting back to Luca, right? It's a mechanic of the spheres that the game openly embraces there. So you'll notice we're being chased by these Guado here as we run away. They are quicker than you. They're Guado, for God's sake. And when they get close enough to you, you will get a battle. So your whole idea here is to get away as fast as you can. And here's a really weird thing about Guado. They can summon fiends. What is this? Is this because of their connection to the far plane? Are they summoners in any way? Who knows? They do, as I say, have elaborate monster capture systems in these games. Maybe the Guado are just somehow using that or whatever. But yeah, really cool. So here, let's bring Kamari in, show off some of his new stuff. Fira, let's see how he does attacking an ice fan. Lulu couldn't one-shot these, by the way, just before we came into this area. And he's doing so much more damage. That's awesome. Yuna has now learned an ability called Protect. I guess we'll talk about that in a moment. Then what else was learnt? Here was something interesting I wanted to talk to you guys about. Riku can steal from these Guado. As always, if you don't one-shot enemies, they'll throw potions just as they did against Seymour. And a rare steal is an X potion, as you just saw I got there. X potions are really strong. They're those crazy good ones. Or I'm getting an overkill on a single hit. That's really awesome. And the only other ability that I learned was from Lulu. I guess we'll show it next time. Let's go for a death strike. Go, go, go. Kill that Guado. Kill him, kill him, kill him. I don't think he's immune to death. Oh, jeez. Lulu, you're letting me down. So a really weak, crappy Thundara coming from him there. Let's go for another Fira. I mean, hitting almost 2k is really nice. Oh, well, he did on the flan before that was weak. 1.3 is fine. There you go. That was basically a one-shot. Except for the Kate Sith damage from before. This is actually an area where you can sort of grind. I do think the Guado stop coming. If you just run full on, then obviously you'll get to the exit just fine. But you can stop and get in as many encounters of these as you like. I'm doing this one on purpose because I just want to show you guys a couple more abilities. Not that we're going to be hard up for encounters. There you go, same enemy formation again, I would suppose. So here's one of Lulu's new black magic. This is called Demi. This thing does a quarter of everyone's max health. Or current health, rather, sorry. So it'll never kill them, but it does a fair amount. And, you know, it's a big AoE attack. We haven't seen, is that the first AoE black magic we've seen? So again, you've got Riku here. I wouldn't grind here for experience. I would grind here for X potions. If you've got the patience, a ton of X potions can be really useful. In mixes, mixing together 2 X potions, and in customization as well, I think you can use X potions for fantastic stuff. Really, really cool. So we will cast this here. In fact, because they keep running at you, I almost feel like you could grind battles out here like AFK, as long as you had like a turbo controller that was just pressing X constantly. I don't know. Let's steal again. You know, I suppose in a very real way, my advice there to buy potions from Owaka is a bit flawed, considering you can steal a bunch for free from these Guado. But hopefully you get the gist of what I'm saying. So look, we're back outside now. I could have sworn that there was a save sphere there. I guess not. So look, we'll go get Yuna and start healing up. So even though we're outside, the Guado are still technically chasing us, and we will get random encounters here of them fighting. Now, if you don't recognize any of the area that we're wandering around, this is because where we're currently stood is...
I'll be right back.
I was going to demonstrate an ability to you guys there. Hold on, never mind. Where we're currently stood is where we drove those mopeds along. Mopeds? They weren't mopeds, were they? They were like ice mobiles. So that's where we were driving those. There are a couple of chests, so do consider that along the way. So here's the new ability, by the way. Sloga is what Tidus just learned.
Chill, there's no rush.
I love that dialogue. We're going to get it once. It will slow everyone. So usually slow is something I find I only use in battles against bosses. But here I tend to find as soon as you get Sloga, it's great against those encounters where there are 3 or more enemies. It gives you lots of opportunity to swap in as many players as you like. It's almost like casting haste on everyone, except it's in one spell. So it's really nice. As long as enemies aren't resistant to it or whatever. But yeah. Now the chests I speak of are further on down the path. There's the first one. And you need to keep an eye out for it. This has got a... Oh, wait, hold on. This is the only chest. Okay, never mind. So that's an easily missed chest right over there with a level 1 key sphere. I also thought that was a level 2 key sphere, but I guess that just shows what I know. Alright, so down we go. He's not actually overpowered because he's only just learned an ability that's going to be really useful in the next boss fight. So I think he's about bang on where the devs wanted him to be. I think their tone, their idea of this game's difficulty is too easy. I was looking at mods for Final Fantasy VI, actually. I was really considering playing it. And there's a mod that rebalances loads of it to make it much more viable, much more interesting and slightly more difficulty. Anyway, so we're back where we fought the Crawler before with the Albed. And there's a bunch of Guado and this horrible, abominable snowman Yeti guy that jumps on called... he's not called a Wendigo, is he? He's called something else. Is he called Wendigo? Yeah, I think he is, actually. So, something interesting about this fight. The Guado will actively attack you. There's Whacker's cool stuff. But they also just cast Berserk on this guy. This is one of those rare situations where you come across Berserk. But it's not them berserking you. It's them berserking an ally of theirs. And so it's like, okay, well, what's the point in all of this? So, this is where I want to demonstrate to you guys Auron's new overdrive. Because I think it should work. It's called Shooting Star. Its hidden effect is that it has something called Eject on it. And you'll see what Eject is as long as I get it right. Haven't done this for a while. Because I skipped this on my test. That's Eject. It completely removes someone from the battlefield. Oh, and that's so stupid. How did that happen? Wow. So because basically what happens in this fight is... you should, when you kill a Guado, their dying wish is to protect the Wendigo. So one cast Protect, one cast Shell, I think. So they give it way more defense than it deserves. So I tried to cast Eject there so that there was no way it could buff the Yeti. But apparently from miles away, as it was dead, it managed to cast Protect anyway. That's really stupid. And the Wendigo, as you could see, just did tons of damage. He really hurts. This is a battle about status effects. And so we're going to bring in Yuna here. And there is something cool that Lulu can do in just a second, so we'll cast Life here. And what we will do with Kamari is we will use his overdrive, Stone Breath, to petrify the other Guado. You could take the time to steal if you like, but again, this is my way. Obviously, I didn't need to use Shooting Star at all there, because I could have just... oh, it's good that he's going for Auron so much, so we'll cast that again. I could have just Stone Breathed and dealt with them both straight away. And you'll see with Petrify, at the very least, they didn't defend the Wendigo that we're fighting, so they didn't do that. All right, now we need to get a move on with some cool stuff. So we'll bring Titus in. We will haste Yuna. Unfortunately, she's not going to get two turns in a row here, but what I can do is use our new magic, Protect. And that is Shell for physical attacks. Unfortunately, he didn't aim for Auron this time, so that sucks. But she can res Titus here, and then cast Protect on him too, so that's nice. Now, you'll notice one thing about Titus, actually, I was going to mention before. We could land a physical attack here. Now, I said this is about status effects, so we can power break him, I believe. He is weak to this. Yeah, as long as we can actually land it, that will significantly reduce his damage. So we'll go with a Protect here. You'll notice Titus's weapon looks a little bit different. That's because now we're using the alchemy weapon. So that's Yuna down. That's pretty bad. But hey, we got alchemy, so we can Phoenix down and not feel bad about it. So, yeah, he's got a different styled weapon there. It's kind of one of the rarer ones. You don't tend to see that much. I'm really happy we got that. All right, so now that she's dead, she's going to need another haste. I'm actually going to haste Titus here. Actually, if I haste Auron, I give him a go. But we don't need that. So I'm going to haste Titus. Hopefully he'll survive long enough to get some other stuff going. Now, here's something very cool you can do. He was berserked, right? Well, berserk, I haven't even explained to you guys. What it does is it boosts your damage really high, but it means the only thing you can do is attack. You just keep pounding and pounding and pounding. That can be deadly to your party. It really can, because if you're wounded, if the enemy counters a lot and they're berserked and they keep attacking, it's game over. Because it's a negative buff, though, by casting Azuna on it, we can actually cure that. Now, Azuna removes stuff like Berserk and Poison and Dark, but it won't remove the other stuff we put on him, like Power Break and whatever else. Protect. To get rid of these, you need another spell called Dispel, which comes like way later in the game, so we don't really have to worry about it. Anyway, check it out. So now he's not Berserked. He appears to be a lot slower too, and that's fantastic. So we will haste Yuna here. And we will swap Auron for Lulu, who should have a very cool thing she can show us. But about status effects, I think he should be weak to poison. I haven't cast Bio yet. Oh, he is, man, that sucks. Bio is really good against a lot of bosses, but I guess this one is defensive against it. So that's a shame. I would guess he's probably defensive against Demi as well, but we'll see when the time comes. So he's got Protect on him, which means Titus really isn't going to be doing very great damage. So what I'm going to do is, he's only here to buff people right now, basically. We're going to haste Lulu. Then we're going to... wait, is she protected already? No, we're going to protect Lulu. Lots of buffing. This is just my playstyle, I guess. And there you go. Look, Titus survived. Hooray. I can't believe he only just survived that. Right, so we're going to cast Fury. This guy is very weak to fire magic, so let's cast Fire Fury. Or Fear of Fury, sorry. Can we get more than 8? Go, 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 go. Ah, I didn't even get to 8. Man. Only 300 damage, but he doesn't have Shell on him, which he would have if we hadn't dealt with those Guado nicely. So that's fine. How much health has he got? 15k still. It's so high. We're gonna get rid of Yuna here. We're gonna bring in Whacker. Whacker's gonna go for an attack reels, but do we want to swap his weapon here? Because, well, the only other one we've got is the TKO, so whatever. Alright, here we go. Attack reels, go. Come on. This is getting sad now. Yeah, there we go. So this is the full power of attack reels. What I just did when Whacker is high enough stats is the most reliably damaging move in the entire game. Look at that. It's pretty sweet, right? Titus is low, but with a simple high potion, he can heal the poop out of himself, which is great. And he gets 2 turns. Now the boss is vulnerable to delay, so I guess I will leave Titus about, even despite the protect. Oh man, he didn't even take that much damage. No, we're gonna bring Kimari in a second, so we can double up on the magic. Titus will stay though, I guess. Go again. And then we'll bring Kimari in, because now with Titus and Kimari here, Titus can haste him. We'll cast Fear with Kimari and see how much damage it does. 1.2, that's not bad. Another one. I mean, it's so much more. I'm loving it. I really am. Okay, now the boss is at a certain threshold of health. You see how he's just put his hands up, put his dukes up? This means every time he is physically attacked from now on, he will counter with a pretty devastating move. So we have to be careful of that. I'm no longer going to opt for the delay attacks. I'm going to haste Kamari. Now, I believe if we cast magic, this won't happen. So let's just be sure. Yeah, so he doesn't counter with magic. So magic really is the best thing you can do to deal with this guy. I'm thinking now, has Riku had a turn? I don't think she has, so I want to quickly swap her in. She might die trying to steal from him here. There you go, we got an X potion. That's pretty good. I don't even know if that's a rare steal or not. Now we could go for an overkill here by spamming a lot of focus. So let's try that. Let me just quickly swap Yuna in so I can see his health. Oh god, I did not mean to do that. Yuna's screwed. Oh no, see, Protect is really strong. Alright, that's fine. I really don't know how much damage it is to overkill him, so actually I'm just going to finish the fight off here. We've had a lot of boss fights in a row here, guys. A lot. Crawler, Seymour, Anima, Seymour, Wendigo. It's crazy. Let's bring in Auron. Just to pass, just to be sure, because I can't remember if he had a turn. I think he did very early on. Got another Fira. Ah, and that was the one that killed it? Alright, fine. Well, there you go. That's the Wendigo dealt with. Surprisingly tough, that one, if you don't know how to deal with a Berserk, but much easier when you do. Oh, but he's not quite dead. And so we fall through the ice. It's funny, when you return there later on in the game, it looks totally unrecognizable because of the huge chasm that's just appeared there. But yeah, so we didn't really get very much there anyway. I don't care if we didn't overkill.
Praise be to Yevon. That's what I would have said, if I was a follower of Yevon. We were all there, and in one piece. Even if I had a headache from wondering what was in store for us next.
Yeah, they somehow survived this immense fall. This area of the game I really like, and I've just remembered the level 2 key sphere wasn't above, it's down here. So there are 2 hidden chests in this small story area that you want to grab before things progress too far. But let's have a chat with some people.
We're under the lake ice, aren't we?
I think so, yeah, maybe.
Look, that's the bottom of the temple.
Wow.
We've fallen a long way.
Pay attention to the architecture of the area we're at, by the way. Hey, Lulu.
So now we're the traitors that killed a maester.
I think that I have something in me that really likes stories.
So now we're the traitors.
Where you become like traitors, and I think it was set off by Final Fantasy X. Hey, Auron.
What now, I wonder?
What now? You act first and think later, don't you? I mean, can't you be a little more responsible? We're all depending on you, you know?
A lecture.
No. Just a suggestion.
You should place trust in your friends. But you can't expect someone to protect you all the time. You would do well to remember that.
Is that a lecture?
It's advice.
That was totally an lecture, guys.
Young summoners are magnets for trouble.
He almost just enjoys it. What the hell's wrong with him?
The hymn. Huh.
Oh, okay. Why is he talking about the hymn? It's very quiet and ambient here. Here's Waka.
Hey, Waka, would you cheer up? Look, we only did what we had to do.
It doesn't matter. Don't you see? I've always walked the path of Yevon. But now, I'm a traitor. How could this happen? Damn!
It's not Riku's fault either.
Huh? You don't know how I feel.
before people start hating on him, Wakka is one of those characters in Final Fantasy that I think a lot of people find it very easy to hate on him. Like, this happens a lot in shows and stuff where there's a character that has a really complicated past that I think people just don't... They really struggle to put their shoes in it, okay? If you're a pious person, if you're a devout person, think about Wakka. He spent his whole life believing, you know, being a really, really strong follower of Yevon, and we just killed one of the Yevon leaders. Like, this is serious, and it's easy for us as video gamers, as people who, you know, in Tidus's shoes, just dipping our feet into Spira and seeing logically that it was okay that we killed Seymour. It's easy for us to be flippant about it and to justify it. But if you really take a second to empathize, put yourself in his shoes, I don't think it would be very difficult to be a better person than Wakka is in this position. You know, to do something like this against your entire life, it is not easy to be flippant about it and just be like, oh, okay, Riku, you're in our bed, whatever, I've spent my whole life, you know, believing that the only reason sin exists is because of what your people are doing. That's fine, la-di-da-di-da. What I'm saying is it's easy to hate on Wakka through this bit of the game, and I advise reservation at that, because I can put myself in his shoes, at least to an extent, and surely you can see that too.
Wonder what the Aurochs are doing now.
Oh my god, yeah, the Aurochs.
Wonder what the Aurochs are doing now.
And in fact, him saying that has reminded me, you'll see we can no longer play Blitzball, guys. We can't play it. Why would we be able to go back to Lucre at this point? This is serious business. This is serious shit we're in. And I love that Wakka thinks about that. Here's Riku.
I'm sure Yunie's okay. She's breathing fine and all. How are Lulu and Wakka?
Well, Wakka's in shock. Can't blame him either. And Lulu, well, she's just the same as always.
She's so together. All grown up, I guess.
I guess.
Well, just give me 5 or 6 more years.
So, Kamari, how do we get out of here?
Hey, don't change the subject.
We climb.
Kimari too.
Only those who try will become.
Huh?
I think he means you have to work hard if you want to be like Lulu.
Oh, I will.
Kimari think Riku should stay Riku.
Huh? Hey, are you saying I'll never be like Lulu? Kimari!
Oh, God.
How can you laugh at a time like this?
Yuna?
You have to laugh, man. Come on. It's weird to me. Riku aspires to be like Lulu. How many 15-year-old girls aspire to be like someone like Lulu?
I wanted to confront Maester Seymour about his father, Lord Jyscal. I wanted to convince him to turn himself in to Yevon's judgment.
In exchange for marriage?
Yes, if that's what it took.
So, what did Seymour say?
He didn't say anything. Now I don't even think it was worth it. I should have told you what I was going to do.
Enough! Dwelling in the past is futile.
Hey, you don't have to say it like that.
You want to waste time listening to her regrets?
You don't have to say it like that.
Our immediate concern is Yuna's pilgrimage. Are you willing to go on?
Yes. But then, do you think Yevon will allow it?
The Faith are the ones that give power to the summoners. Not the temples or the teachings. If the temples try to stop us, then we will defy Yevon if we must.
Whoa!
I can't believe you said that!
Sir Auron?
Count me out. We have to atone, to make up for the sins we have committed. Of course. It's not like I ever liked Maester Seymour, yeah? No way I'll ever forgive him for killing Lord Jyscal. And for trying to do us all in two, you know? But still, the bunch of us going against Yevon? No way!
But still, We have transgressed and must face our punishment.
We must go to Bavel. We must speak with Maester Micah and explain what has happened. There is no other way, I think.
I agree.
That's the most logical one.
Sir Orin?
So it is decided.
Will you come with us?
I am the troublemaker, after all.
Yeah, that's right. You can always count on Aaron to complicate things.
Yeah. Kamari roars and Orin runs off, and...
I never asked you to follow me.
Hey, but that's what friends are for. Right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Huh?
Friends, huh?
Man, how can you all act like nothing's wrong? Must got nerves of steel or something.
You're too edgy. Listen to the hymn and calm down.
Yeah, there's music now. If this game wasn't one game, if this was like a trilogy, like people do now, and you were plotting out this game, I reckon this would be the end of the first game. Like, if this was three titles, Final Fantasy X, or, you know, just Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, or whatever, right? I reckon this would be a great place to end it, because you could really build it up a lot more than they built it up here, but, you know, the destruction, the pipe, they could even have, like, Waka, like, is like, no, I don't want any part of this anymore, I'm going home, and he leaves. And, you know, you might end up having a story where the pilgrimage is just completely called off, Yuna doesn't have it in her anymore, everyone's wanted, they all go about their separate ways, and then you have the second game begins, and it's like a couple of years later or something, and everyone's split up, and for whatever reason they need to get back together, or maybe some of them don't get back together. I think that'd be so cool. But obviously, you know, Orin is so intent on continuing this pilgrimage, right? Yuna too, to her credit, she still wants to bring happiness to the people of Spira, even if the mace is now against them. But why is Orin so intent? Everything, you want to listen to her regrets, let's just go, man. Let's just do the pilgrimage. He is a bit dickish there. And it's curious, why does he want that so much? I had some other thoughts, but whatever. We'll keep going along. Hey, Yuna.
Is that coming from the temple?
Yes, it is Yevon's gift. It soothes the hearts of the faithful.
Oh yeah, what I was going to say is Orin was really interesting there for a second. It's the faith, this woman we can hear singing right now, the faith of the Temple of Macalania that Yuna was just praying to. That's Shiva's faith right there. They're the people that give the power to the summoners. It has nothing to do with Yevon. It has nothing to do with the teachings or the temples. It's the faith. And the story will eventually set up that the faith are just a part of this world. And they, yes, people can become faith through Yevon. But the idea of having faith is a very, very old concept indeed. Before I talk to anyone else, before I get too scared, grab some chests. Speaking to someone here is going to progress the story, so you want to make sure you get your stuff. This chest contains an Avenger. An Avenger? Well, haven't we had an Avenger before? Why, yes we have. It's the weapon we bought from Owaka all that time ago. With counterattack. So if you missed it from Owaka, you do get to get this weapon again. It's exactly the same one, no extra slots or anything. And yeah, this just ties into what I was saying before. They give it to Tidus specifically on both occasions because of Provoke. Not that I've demoed it at all very well. There's Orin up there, and the other chest you can see very briefly over in this corner during the previous cutscenes, and that's a level 2 key sphere. Notice how well that one's hidden just because of the loot in it. But yeah, so I don't know, let's speak to Waka.
Say, you feel something weird in the air? Some kind of bad vibes or something?
Yeah.
I thought so.
It's a bit calm, you know? It's weird that we're all still safe and alive.
Who is that singing?
The faith.
Oh. Huh? The faith? What? It can sing?
Of course it can. Don't be a fool.
Interesting. Over here.
I'm sure that Maester Micah will listen to us.
Hopefully.
I'm sure that...
This was the old man we saw in Luca a long time ago, remember, before the tournament? The Grand Maester.
Friends, huh?
Oh, she's so smitten about
First
it.
time a non-Albed called me that.
Hey, it doesn't matter who you are.
This place smells different now. Can Mare not know if this good or bad?
It won't be hard to get any worse than the situation we're already in, right? If you want to end this, I guess you just talk to Auron.
Jack used to sing this song.
Yeah, over and over. But not this good, that's for sure.
And again, that's really subtle, but what if they just told you that the Faith have nothing to do with blah blah blah, right? And the Faith are singing this song that even Jekt knew. Jekt is from Zanarkand, like Tidus, a world that never knew Yevon. So these are old things. The Hymn of the Faith is an old thing.
Another trait you share.
What? You were listening?
And it turns out we knew it too. Remember I told you guys that in the files for this game there's a woman humming the Hymn of the Faith and a boy? The boy is us.
Hey, can't I get a little privacy?
Your singing reminded me of Spira.
Oh, right. You're not originally from Zanarkand, are you? You homesick?
Maybe.
Say, how'd you get to Zanarkand anyway? Sin? Uh-huh. I thought so. That proved it. Sin was the link between Zanarkand and Spira. Which means, if we kill Sin, I'll never be able to go home.
Just as Jekt figured, I guess, but then Auron got there. Wow, I mean...
The singing stopped.
Oh, snap.
There's something here.
The ground.
It's Sin. Appearing very docile. It's like one of the shortest CGI cutscenes I think they do in the whole game.
Sin! The toxin, watch out!
Now you'd think that that would have been a battle there, but it's totally not. There's been enough boss battles. Well, the reason I've paused it here is, you know, we were stood in like a weird city place there under the water. We were actually on top of Sin that entire time. Would you believe it? It is true. Whenever we have seen Sin in the past, he looks like he's had a city of some kind on the back of his head. Have you guys noticed that? I don't think I mentioned it in the LP yet. That city thing you can see on the back of his head is what we were currently just stood on. It seems Sin was there, not doing anything, but he was there, and even somehow broke our fall, if you think about it.
It was then I knew that Sin really was my old man. For the first time, I was finally able to believe it. The song you were listening to. What is it this time?
Jekt liked that song, and there he was, just listening to it quietly. I wonder if the Faith knew that Sin was listening to it.
Zanarkand. Ah, you homesick too? That's not your world anymore. You're Sin now. Hey, I'm older now, you know? I know. You want this to end. I'll find a way, promise.
I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but at the start of this series, when you first go into Sin and you have that weird fever dream, you can see Jecht there. That's the character you swim to in the middle. It's because Jecht is Sin. I couldn't mention at the time because it was a spoiler at the time. Oh my god, where are we now? What is this? If we press triangle, we will see Tidus is alone. No more members of our party. We're at a place called the Cenuvia Sands, at a very small oasis, as it would turn out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We are 100 miles or more away from where we were before, and alone, as it would seem. Thanks very much. I'll catch you next time for more Final Fantasy X. Have a good one.